Hey everybody, welcome to Taylor's Future Movement. I'm Amelia and I'm a Taylor's University student, but I was also an ex-Taylor's College student. And today we're going to talk about what's life after SPM, a Taylor's experience. So it's right after SPM, it's right after everyone's IGs. You might be scared, you might be worried about what's life after SPM. Well, that's exactly what we're here today to talk about. So we have a few guests, and today I'm going to introduce them to you. They're amazing, and they're actually Taylor's College students and even the Taylor's College head of school. So, hi everyone. They're going to be coming up on screen. Hi guys. So first of
Hi.
all, yeah,
Hi, Amelia.
it's so good to see you guys, right? So, hi Dr. Siva. How are you feeling
Yeah,
today?
I'm feeling great. It's so nice to see you and the other three students here. It has been a long time
Yes.
since you have met. You look so good.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, so Dr. Siva, how's life as head of school for the pre-university studies?
All right. I cherish this job. I love this job that I'm doing. I'm so passionate about it because primarily I've been an educator for many years, and I have this opportunity to be in a school which provides education for students who are in transition. This is such a crucial period of time for many students after SPM, after the IGs. And I am in a school which provides that kind of education, not only formal education, but the informal part where we develop other skills as well. So I'm just so excited. Even with the pandemic, everything is going on very well at Taylor's College.
Great to hear. All
Yeah.
right. So next we have Yuan also. Yuan, what course did you study in Taylor's College?
Well, I used to study Foundation in Science in Taylor's College. And
Wow,
now I'm
amazing.
doing biomedical science in Taylor's Uni.
Ah, a fellow Taylor's Uni student. What's up? All right, nice to meet you. All right, next we have Mercy. Mercy, you took SACE, is that correct?
Yep, that's correct.
And what does SACE stands for?
It stands for South Australian Certificate of Education. So it's self-explanatory. After you complete the course, you actually get a certificate from South Australia.
Wow, just as the name
Yes.
suggests. Just
Yep.
as the name suggests. All right. And finally, last but not least, we have Grace. So, Grace, how are you feeling today?
Hi, I'm feeling great.
Amazing. So, what do you study in Taylor's College?
I actually completed my A levels in November last year.
Wow, congrats. So, to anyone who's watching right now, if you're considering of taking either A levels, keep your eyes on Grace. All right. So, Dr. Siva, you mentioned something interesting just now. You mentioned that you have been an educator, right? From all levels, from primary up to tertiary. So, in your vast experience, generally, what are the biggest challenges faced by students, when transitioning from high school to college? And also, how has Taylor's College supported these students for the transition?
All right. I think one of the greatest challenge is, comes from the very word itself, transitioning. Transitioning is not an easy process, right? There is change. There's a lot of change, and this change can be, can develop, can bring about fear, can bring about anxiety, and so on. And what is the change that we are looking at when we are speaking about students transiting from high school to a tertiary level kind of education, which is pre-university. One of the greatest challenges I've seen that students face is that coming from a dependent environment, a primarily dependent environment, in an environment like Taylor's College, what we're expecting students to do is to become independent, autonomous, self-directed as quickly as possible. The transitioning needs to happen as quickly as possible because then they will be well placed to go into the degree programs and do exceptionally well as well. But since your second part of the question was how do we support, let me assure you that Taylor's College, being in the pre-university business for more than 53 years, has put in the right kind of mechanisms to support our students. Apart from focusing on the teaching and learning aspect, we place a lot of emphasis on pastoral care. In fact, we are your in-situ parents. When students come, our program directors and me, maybe I'm like a grandfather and my program director like parents, we take so much care of our students. I'm sure, Evan, Grace, and Mercy will agree. There's a lot of support mechanisms that we have. We have counselors, we have student success advisors. So we monitor all this progress that students are making. And when students are struggling, we have at-risk mechanisms where we help students to cope with whatever challenges they are facing, which includes, giving them like peer mentoring, peer tutoring, extra counseling hours, lecturers meeting them for extra counseling and so on. So we have that proper mechanism right from on the onset when they come for orientation, even during the pandemic, because they can't come back to campus, right? So they're not coming back. We actually have a video which we take students on a virtual tour of the entire campus, showing them the various facilities, showing them what we have. So we are actually well set to help students who are coming from a dependent environment to an independent environment like Taylor's College.
Yeah, it's amazing. And so basically, as you said, right, the lecturers and admin staff, they're not just like impersonal people, they are our parents in college. Yeah,
Yes,
I love
exactly.
that. Yeah, I love that personalized touch to it,
Exactly. It's so important. It's so important for students who are, transiting. We have to provide that kind of support, that kind of mechanism. It's not for everybody though, because some students come, with better handling mechanisms. But there are many students who will need that kind of support, and we are
Yeah.
well positioned to provide that support. I'm very sure some of you may have experienced this support while you were studying in Taylor's College as well.
Guilty as charged. All right, so thank you, Dr. Siva. I'm sure most of you guys can resonate with those points because, well, you're all Taylor's College students. But okay, I wanna know it. I wanna know from a student's perspective, what was it like for your transition from high school to college? Mercy, was it difficult because everything's online?
For me personally, I was actually really excited to step foot in college for the new wonders I'd see and experience. But transitioning from high school to college wasn't ceremonial or dramatic as
Yeah.
people might expect. You just acknowledge the fact that you're in college now and no longer a high schooler. You
You're
maybe
getting
brood on
older.
it. Yeah,
You're
you
getting
think about how
older.
fast time flies, but then after that, you just go on with your life. There was also the nervousness that I felt of starting anew in a foreign environment with new things to experience, to see, to explore, and new people to meet. And maybe I also felt just a bit of disappointment because I knew that I won't be having a normal college life because of the pandemic. But even when everything was online, I found light at the end of the tunnel because the lecturers were extremely kind, patient, and supportive, which contributed to an overall positive and very pleasant college experience. They put in a lot of effort to provide us with the best experience possible in a less conducive environment by continually asking for feedback to improve. They were all very approachable and always encouraged us to ask questions to clarify any doubts that we had. So, because of that, my experience as a stay student was actually a very enjoyable one. Especially the lecturers' willingness to help was especially essential for me as a stay student because my coursework constitutes 70% of my final grade. In fact, if you inspect further, I was actually only able to achieve my results because of their help. Now, something also worth mentioning is the help from seniors that I got. Amelia here being one of them. So they
Don't
were very
expose me.
generous.
All my notes, I've given out.
Now, one of the things that's good about this is, once a Taylorian, you're always a
Always a
Taylorian. And I think that
Taylorian.
Taylorian spirit, is that what you're actually telling? The seniors are always there to help our juniors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like we've been there, we've been through it, so we want to help our juniors also. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I would actually help my juniors too if they approach me for. Yeah,
all
but my
That's
right, safe
seniors,
that's a good
students.
spirit.
Safe students, keep an eye on Mercy.
Yeah.
yeah, my
But
seniors, they were really generous.
yeah. Thank you for that.
Yep. So they shared their resources and gave really helpful pointers to aid and refine my learning. So because of all this help I was getting from my seniors, my friends, my lecturers, it wasn't really difficult for me to adapt to online learning. It might even have come naturally actually. I adapted almost immediately to using Times to access my study materials and also logging into Zoom, Microsoft Teams for online lectures. So most of my lecturers actually use Zoom, which is actually super simple and super easy to operate.
Yeah.
In Zoom, we have features like breakout rooms, which my teachers usually use for group discussions. They were always fun and interactive when you talk with your friends. And in Zoom, you also have the raise hand feature that my lecturers commonly use when she's calling for a vote. So these features actually helped to enhance my learning experience with my classmates. And my math lecturer, especially, was really adept at using her computer. So she was good at finding online interactive websites to help us grasp mathematical concepts.
Wow, that's actually very hard to make maths
Yeah.
understandable.
That just makes it even more impressive. And some of my lecturers even also used Kahoot, which is a really
Kahoot.
yeah, it's a very famous
Kahoot.
website. And I
Look
think
at
most
Ewan.
would know.
Ewan's laughing. Ewan's like, yes, I know
So
Kahoot all
exciting.
day. Yeah.
So by using Kahoot, they were able to facilitate a really entertaining quiz session. And overall, that really made learning fun and enjoyable for me. Even if I faced some technical problems, which actually wasn't a lot, by the way, they were just in the rare instances, I could actually just solve the technical problems with just a simple Google search. Or even if I couldn't, I knew that help was always within my reach. I could always ask for help from my lecturers, my friends, or my dad, my family members who are very tech savvy. And knowing that I could always ask for help really bolstered my morale and my motivation to study.
Yeah. Amazing. So, speaking about transitioning from high school all the way to college and beyond, I would actually like to ask our ex Taylor's College and current Taylor's University student here, Ewan. So, you took foundation in science and now you're actually in biomedical science. So, how has Taylor's College prepared you in terms of skills, in terms of knowledge for your degree?
I would say that Taylor's has definitely prepared me well for my degree. So one of them would be undoubtedly referencing skills. So
Oh, referencing. I
I'm pretty
relate. I
sure,
relate so much.
yeah, everyone could relate to it. How tedious it is, how time consuming it is. But we actually learned how to do referencing for two of our English modules back in FIS. So I think it really helped me strengthen my basics when it comes to referencing. So it's not as scary. Yeah. And also, I feel that for my course FIS, it really helped me to build a very strong foundation in science so that my burden is reduced when I transition to degree. Because I have already learned some of the stuff in my current degree during my foundation year. So it doesn't mm, it doesn't seem that difficult to me because I've already learned it before.
So
That's a
yeah.
that's a very good point that you made, Lewan. That building a strong foundation is really essential. So the SAYS and CAL programs are excellent programs. They have their own syllabus, but our own internal programs like the Foundation in Science, our focus is very much building very strong foundations so that when you go to university, it's much easier. You made a good point there,
Yeah. So,
Yes,
so actually, Ewan, so you agree with Dr. Siva, right? That basically foundation has given you a very firm foundation for your degree.
yes.
Yeah. So I'm curious, what tips would you give your younger self, or well, anyone that's watching right now, right? What tips would you give them to help future-proof them for their degree in the future?
Okay, firstly, I would tell my younger self or my juniors to learn as much as you can during your college year or your foundation year. Because after I transitioned to degree, that's when I realized how important the basics are that I learned in foundation. It's actually really helpful. It really makes your life a lot easier. And also, secondly, I would tell my younger self to manage my time wisely. Because, yes, because
Everyone is guilty of that.
especially ever since the pandemic, it's really become more difficult. So back then in foundation, I actually struggled a lot with time management because we had to work on both coursework and exams. So it was like 50-50. The
That's
weightage
50.
was like, yeah, 50-50. And I thought that I was very busy when I was in foundation. But after coming to degree, I realized that it's even worse. Degree life is even
Ah,
busier.
same,
Yes.
same.
Yes. So so it is very important to cultivate like good time management skills while you're still in college before you enter your degree. And
Yeah.
yes. And lastly, I feel that this is something that I think everyone can relate to. If you are good at teamwork or team management, I think it will really help you a lot in your degree life. Yeah, so I have actually a lot of groups for my different projects back in FIS and also in biomed, especially this semester actually. And so I was exposed to a lot of different kind of team dynamics. So some groups are filled with very active people. They are always like very noisy, always participating in discussions, and some are actually very quiet, just basically just waiting for you to give instructions. So at the start, I really struggled with adapting to the different kind of team dynamics. So I had to learn a lot from trial and error. I had to learn what kind of leadership styles and like what kind of working styles would suit each of the team. So I would say that during your college years, you should learn how to manage a team so that your assignments life in college should be a lot easier. Yes.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing, Ewan, is that basically number one, learn the hard academic skills such as referencing, right? But
Yes.
not just that, you need to know your soft skills also, time management,
Yes.
leadership
Yes.
skills, and how to adapt to different people.
Yes.
Speaking about time management, actually, Grace, you said that you were from A levels. I'm actually curious because I know A levels is kind of a busy course. So, did you manage to actually have a holistic college experience? Like, did you join any extracurriculars? Did you still manage to have fun with friends?
Yeah, during college, I was um, an active member of CSI, a community service club. Later, I was elected as the president of that club, and it was a
Wow.
very
Congratulations.
thank you. It was a
Congrats.
very special experience for me.
Because back in high school, were you kind of very involved also? Did you have these type of chances, opportunities?
Yeah, back in high school, we had one community service centric club, and it's called Peers Club. But we were very much dependent on our teachers. But I would say in college we have much more freedom organizing our own events and activities and choosing social issues we want to focus on, like refugees or wildlife conservation, beach cleanup, and much more.
That is so true, Amelia. There's a lot of emphasis, that we provide on CSR, community service outreach programs, and this is one of the examples through a club. But I know for sure that students themselves, like in SACE, they formed a club called Madu, Make a Difference
Yes.
United, and they have reached out to to the urban poor people, giving free tuition. And in the past, when we were allowed to travel, they had actually gone over to Vietnam and and done some real good work,
Yep.
community service outreach. In recently, when there was no lockdown, we had a visit. We organized a visit, Taylor's College, involving Cambridge students, SACE students, the foundation students. We visited Orang Asli settlement in Pulau Carey Island, and did a
Wow.
river conservation project. So there's a lot of emphasis on the outside classroom experiences in Taylor's, and Grace is one example of how she managed to use this opportunity to eventually become president. I've never been a president of a
Yeah.
club before. Well done, Grace. Well done.
Thank
Wow.
you.
Yeah. So it's amazing to see, right, how Taylor's College not only just encourage students in their academics, but also you guys want your students to be actual members of society that give back to society. Yeah, that's amazing. And I can attest to that because I was actually in Madu for SAYS, the Make a Difference
Okay.
United. Yeah. So we actually got to go to soup kitchens and we help out the underprivileged. So yeah, Taylor's College really help me flourish, I guess I would say.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Nice to hear that.
Yeah. Actually, Grace, what would you advise nervous high schoolers? Because you said just now yourself, back in high school, we didn't really have much opportunities to control our club activities. So, what would you advise these high school graduates who want to explore their interests, who want to express themselves?
I would tell them, if you have anything that you want to do, just do it, because it's
Just
only
do it.
when yeah, it's only when you bring up such issues then you realize that there's actually also a group of people that's passionate about the issues that you are passionate in.
So, would you say that you found a community where you belonged?
Yeah, and I'll say it's not just like one community. Like for my creative side, I actually bonded very well with students from mass comm, and then for academics, I bonded well with students from pre-U programs like SAYS,
A
A
levels,
levels. Yeah, we
yeah.
organize group studies, and it's actually
Wow.
very inspiring to see everyone working hard towards their dream in a way. And being in that environment really pushes you to perform well.
That's amazing. It's so nice to see that when you're in college, even though you're online, you're not alone. You have so many other communities that are there, like-minded people who are there that share your passions, right, Grace?
Yes.
Yeah. So, Dr. Siva, you heard yourself that your Taylor's College students have really benefited. So I'm pretty sure you're very proud of your students right now.
Most certainly, all of you. It's so nice to see all of you, but it's so nice to see so much passion being shared here today. In terms of the club, into the studies. Earlier, we heard Mercy speaking about her lecturers. Because of the passion that we have for pre-U education, and our lecturers are well trained and they have so much experience. And in a way, I'm not surprised because the whole ethos of the school is that that we need to take care of our students as best as we can. And as I told you just now, as parents in situ, at the site, we are just there for you for everything, every aspect of your student life in
Yeah,
college.
exactly. Exactly. Okay, but Dr. Siva, here's something that I'm pretty sure everyone still wonders because it is online. And understandably, most parents and most students, they are very worried about the teaching quality or the method of teachings in Taylor's College. So, Dr. Siva, I would just like to ask you to alleviate these worries, right? What makes a student of Taylor's College pandemic proof? What sets them apart?
All right. I think when the pandemic first set its foot in all over the world last year. I want to tell you that our classes were ongoing.
Yeah.
Physical face-to-face classes were ongoing. The moment there was a lockdown, there was no disruption in the learning that was happening. You know why? Because TLS College had already prepared way in advance, even before the pandemic, for the transition to 21st century learning environment. And when you talk about 21st century learning environment, it's basically relying on a lot of technology, a lot of on digital devices to enable learning to take place. You see, a good learner in the 21st century or in a tertiary level education is a learner who is independent, autonomous, self-assured, self-directed learner. And to be able to do that, we would need the infrastructure to enable that kind of learning to take place. So, what I would like to assure parents out there and students out there, please do not worry. Whether it's Cambridge A levels, whether it's South Australian matriculation, whether it is foundation in science or any other foundation, we are there to be able to provide you with the best possible learning experience despite the pandemic, which is through online digital environment. But having said that, we also plan contingency plans to bring back students for essential lab work when the government allows it, periodically. I'm sure Grace and Mercy would have experienced that as well, last year.
Yeah.
So it is about us being technologically very advanced. Recently that Taylor's College, Taylor's on the whole got the Malaysia's top private university,
Yeah,
and in
I've seen
Southeast Asia
that.
as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
because of all these things that we have done in the past, and then we are developing it even further. The our technological capacity to deliver. But it's not only that. Lecturers are provided the kind of training. Earlier, we heard a very heartwarming story about how Mercy was so impressed with the mathematics lecturer who used various digital devices to even teach difficult concepts in mathematics. I
Yeah.
myself personally, I'm so weak in maths, but I'm so proud of
Same.
my lecturers who are
Same.
able to do that. All right, okay, I'm basically a very humanistic. I mean, very much inclined to humanities. So Amelia and you and all the students out there who are listening to us now, I can rest. I can honestly in confidence, assure you that when you come to Taylor's College, we would ensure that there will not be any disruption in your learning journey. That's it.
Thank you, Dr. Siva. Right. So I think that actually, if you want, if as a testament, right, to how that there was no disruption and the teaching quality was still uh, very at a high level,
Yes.
just look at the people that we're interviewing today. They're
Yeah.
all top scorers. Yeah.
Exactly. It's so true.
Right. So it's been amazing having all of you here, and it's been amazing to hear how actually Taylor's College has supported and helped you guys throughout pandemic, throughout your whole entire course. And we've actually talked about to Mercy about her transition experience, how it wasn't actually that difficult because Taylor's technological infrastructure was already there even way before the pandemic. And then Dr. Siva, you talked about the challenges and how Taylor's College has helped supported the students throughout these challenges, right?
Just one point for me to add. Somebody already told that, seeking assistance when needed is very important.
Yeah.
I think it was Grace who mentioned that. So students out there, when you come in, it's also important for you to communicate, right? And your first line of communication is the program director. I'm there, but that's very important. Seeking assistance when it's needed. Because sometimes if you're quiet and you don't say anything, you don't reach out to your lecturers, to your
How are they
program
gonna
directors.
know? Yeah.
We won't know. Or to your peers, or to your seniors like Amelia, who, willingly will share tips and notes to
Hit me up, hit me
juniors.
up.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So that's very
Yeah.
important. Yeah.
Yeah. So not just communication, but also we need to be able to be open to various other people and learn how to accommodate other people. Like how Ewan said, how Taylor's College has helped her learn how to work in a team. So it's been amazing hearing how all of you guys have gotten a firm foundation through Taylor's College, and it was a really nice session for me also because personally it was so nice to see my juniors go through the same college experience and find that value in your college experience. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much, everyone. It was truly insightful. To all of those who are watching, if you have any further questions or any clarifications, stay tuned for the next session, which is the Ask Me Anything session, where you'll get all your questions answered, all right? And also, you can also check out Taylor's Future Movement's website for a virtual tour, which is very amazing, actually, or even counseling sessions to find out what's right for you after SPM. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much, everyone. It was a really, really lovely discussion with all of you guys. And I'll see you guys next time. All right? Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you, Amelia. Bye.